Welcome back to another video. We know that one of the most hyped Lattafa fragrances is unequivocally Petra. And of course, I've always tried Quattro Pizzi. This is my friend, S to the O.
How you doing? Solano.
And of course, I'm welcoming him on the channel yet again. All of his information is going to be down below in the description box, so show him some love. But basically, I never owned Quattro Pizzi, and Solano does. So he brought it over, and I said, you know what? I think it would make a really good comparison video if we just talked about both of them. What are the significant differences as far as our nose can perceive them? And for those of you who don't know, this is a tuberose-based fragrance. Now, the thing with Lattafa is they make their version of other popular or designer fragrances.
Right.
Some of them are super hyped, some of them are in production, some of them are discontinued, like Habik for Men, which is inspired by Jean-Paul Gaultier, Le Male Essence de Parfum. But despite that, we have two tuberose-based fragrances. Both of them have rum, both of them have coconut, but there are some differences between the two. So because this one is your bottle, I want you to start. So what are your thoughts on Quattro Pizzi?
I like Quattro Pizzi. It's different. It's green. You get that coconut. You get that booziness, that tobacco. It's very earthy fragrance. But I don't think this is for the faint of heart, to be honest. I don't even know how Petra is, to be honest. Because they smell similar, but different. This one has more of like a sparkling effect to me. Like more like it has like lemon, something citrusy to give it that sparkle, that fizziness.
You know, that's interesting that you brought that up, because now that I've tried both side by side, I can see how they're similar, and I totally understand why people would make the comparison. And of course, they both have the coconut, they both have tuberose, they both have the rum, they both have something sweet in the dry down, whether it be tonka bean or vanilla. But I think with Petra, you have plum and praline. So those two ingredients are really sweetening things up. With Quattro Pizzi, on the other hand, this one has tobacco. So you said it's earthier, it's a bit more green, and I think that has a lot to do with this one. And I think either one or both of them also have Davana, which gives it a bit of like an earthy, green, and herbal vibe.
Right, yeah. But like I said, if I had to choose personally, I like Quattro Pizzi. But like I said, it's not for the faint of heart. It's different. But I would prefer Petra.
And I think for the price tag alone, I can understand why it's so much easier for people to go with Petra. Let me ask you something. What is the longevity on Quattro Pizzi?
For me, I get 6 to 7, sometimes 8 hours, depending. They say it's a summer scent, but to me, I don't see it. I see it more of a fall and winter based scent. You?
Yeah, so for me, I can see fall working perfectly. And I think the rum has a lot to do with that. The touch of sweetness has a lot to do with that as well. I think spring might be okay as well if it's a chilly day because of the tuberose.
Yeah.
Right? So I think of spring, I think of flowers in bloom. So I think it's going to be evocative of that season. But those intermediary seasons, spring and fall, I think would be perfect. In the wintertime, go with Lira, go with Italica. There are so many other great Casamorati fragrances. And then, of course, in the summer, I love my Mephisto Gentiluomo. And I mean, there's a lot of great fragrances from Casamorati that I truly love. But I don't know if I have a preference between these two. I'm going to be honest with you. On a lady, I would love to smell both of them. I think Quattro Pizzi is probably a bit more floral.
Yeah.
So
you do get more of those florals aspects as it starts to dry down. But like I said, I like the fizziness and the pop, the sparkliness that this one has. Now I can see why a lot of people wear it and like it. It's not as creamy as Quattro Pizzi, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know, now that they dried down, they're actually quite similar. In the opening, you get that plum really coming through on Petra. There's just something almost like syrupy about it. It's hard to explain because that's not the dominating olfactive texture of it. It's not a syrupy fragrance overall. It's kind of like floral, clean, starchy, maybe even a tiny, tiny bit powdery. So I can tell how from all Lattafa fragrances on the market, you're going to get some that are super mass appealing, and then like Habik for women is super mass appealing. And then you have some that are a bit more on the daring side of things. And the people who have tried Petra I feel like it's a 50-50 split. Some people really, really love it, can't get enough of it. Some people are like, wait, what was Lattafa doing with this? But if you tried both of these, you understand what the comparison is.
Yeah, and I like the way that they're like the same color style.
Petra, Pizzi, Quattro Petra. I don't know. There's a bit of a similarity with the name, the olfactive, the aesthetic design, excuse me, the blue, the white motif. So it's actually really, really nice. And I also really do like the presentation for Petra as well. So my mother loves this one.
I can see that. I can see a female liking it, to be honest.
Absolutely.
What's the longevity on this one?
So it's funny, you said, 6-7 hours. This one is also in the vein of 7 hours, 7-8 hours, depending on your skin chemistry. So I don't think you're going to get much of a difference between the two. I wouldn't say that one is longer lasting than the other or shorter than the, I think they're both pretty much the same. But I do feel like the florals are amplified in the Casamorati. Right. So I think if you're going for tuberose, if you're going for something really bright, floral, elegant, even professional, I think you're really going to enjoy this one. And even though I think people typically associate florals, especially tuberose, with women's perfumes, I still think Quattro Pizzi is fairly unisex.
Yeah, I think it is unisex. To me, I see it more manly just because of those notes, the tobacco, the booziness that you get there. So I think that one is and one thing you can never take out of Casamorati that I've learned, they do a great floral scent. Like their florals are on par.
Yes, they do. Absolutely. The ones that I've tried are very good. And it's funny, you bring up the tobacco, and I think of Oroville, which is a Xerjoff fragrance. By the way, they're both under the same umbrella. And then I also think of Oud and Overdose. Both of those are tobacco-based fragrances. And the more I smell this, the more I'm kind of reminded of those two other fragrances, almost of it kind of falling under the same wheelhouse. And both of those, I would say, are masculine. So now that I come back to it, if I have tobacco in mind, I'm like, oh yeah, a gentleman could definitely pull this off. But I do think that they both have a formal appeal as opposed to a casual appeal.
I think it's a formal appeal. I think even a party scent that you could go to, you go into a cigar lounge, you want to wear something, I think you could do it.
Especially if you're dressed up, looking like dressed to the nines. Looking like
Steven.
Well, something like that, I suppose. But dude, I actually really, I'm glad that we were able to compare Quattro Pizzi with Petra because, I think a lot of people, they like Petra, they know it, they bought it, they're enjoying it, but maybe they didn't know that Petra is actually inspired by this fragrance.
Right.
And I think for a lot of people, there's going to be some selling points to purchasing Quattro Pizzi instead of Petra. For others, they would rather get Petra over Quattro Pizzi.
Yeah, because even if the gray market is not that expensive, I don't believe 130 to 140 is expensive for a niche fragrance.
And 100 mil at that? No.
No. So you don't have to even go to this actual website. You could just go to a gray market and sell it.
To be honest with you, I think...
buy it, sorry.
And buy it. No, yeah, we totally understand. I think with this one especially, get a sample from Scent Split. If you've tried Petra and you want to imagine that DNA with a much heartier tuberose note, with a hint of tobacco in the dry down, some earthiness, get a sample from Scent Split. I don't even know if they carry it there, but at the very least, just give it a shot. If they do carry it, I'm going to drop a link down below. And get yourself like a 5 ml decant, 10 ml decant. Try it on your skin, see how it works with your skin chemistry, of course. But kind of like Winston said, if you're finding it online for a really good price, I can see why somebody wouldn't have a hard time forking out $140 for a 100 ml bottle. It's the original. It's a beautiful fragrance, beautiful presentation. The longevity on it is above average as far as I'm concerned. And it's just a beautifully composed fragrance. And I love everything about Casamorati presentations. I own maybe a little less than a dozen of them. It's a great, great brand. And then, of course, with Petra, the main reason behind people wanting to buy this one is similar longevity, a bit sweeter on account of the praline and the plum, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper. So I think it all depends on personal taste.
It's all affordability nowadays. Now, here's the question. I know a lot of people like to layer now with Lattafas. What would you layer this with?
So with that one, because it has a lot of coconut, I would say any other coconut-based fragrances. I know Kajal Colada, if you want to sweeten it up, make it a bit more tropical smelling, you can definitely layer it with Virgin Island water as well, if you want to add some freshness.
Tropical, okay.
right? Or even as far as plum goes, maybe plum and cognac by, is that what it's called? By Scent of Wood?
Scent of Wood.
Beautiful fragrance, kind of enriching that boozy aspect. But again, it all depends on what you already have in your collection, because I know not everybody has plum and cognac or Virgin Island water.
Or you could even go with plum Japanese too if you want to like go for a plum.
Oh yeah, by Tom Ford. Plum Japanese is a great one. So yeah, both of these layer very well, I think. I get maybe, and it might just be me, I get a bit more complexity from Petra, just because I feel like you have like this woodsy presence in the dry down. You have the sweetness of the plum, you have the ethereal nature of the tuberose, you have the sweetness of the praline. So it seems like it goes in a few different directions, whereas with Quattro Pizzi, I feel like it's so heavy-handed on the tuberose. It just smells very illustrious, very sensual, very professional at the same time as well. And they're both perfectly unisex.
No, they're great. Like I said, there's no redundancy here that much, because they're both different. So I think you could buy both of them, to be honest, or even layer both of them together.
I would definitely try that. Yeah, so again, like Winston said, Petra is a twist rather than a direct clone or a dupe. So don't be discouraged feeling like, oh, well, I have one and I really want to get the other and I think it's going to be redundant. I think there's enough of a difference. I mean, inevitably they're inspired. One is inspired by the other, but I think you can have both and you'll find a slightly different occasion in which you can wear each one. So.
Yeah, because I just like the fizziness in this one.
Awesome, man.
So $40 you said, right, for this one?
Yeah, give or take.
Not bad.
It's actually not bad at all. I'm sure if you wait a few more months, the price is going to drop even lower, because this one only came out about a month ago or something like that. So be patient.
Yeah, be patient. But with Lattafa, they're always dropping something new, and just I'm sure it will come out there.
I know, man. Winston, thank you so much for being on the channel, brother.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. No, it's definitely my pleasure, and you're always welcome here. And, you know, I'm going to have some videos coming out on his channel as well. So definitely make sure to subscribe to his channel. First link down below in the description box. And of course, for the people at home, thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope you took something of value from today's episode. And if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to us. So thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.